Hi, everyone. Nicole Russo in Kentucky and Dan Illman in New York coming to you for this week's edition of the Oaks Countdown. Let's begin, as always, by taking a look at the points leaderboard toward a spot in the April 30th Kentucky Oaks. And the top two fillies on this list now are two we've discussed throughout the winter, talked about extensively last week. Travel Column bested rival Clairiere in the Fairgrounds Oaks. Both now move on to the Kentucky Oaks to continue their rivalry as really leading contenders at this point.
No real surprises in the Fairgrounds Oaks, Nicole. Those two, Travel Column and Clairiere, they came into the race. The leading three-year-old fillies in the division, they exit the race. The leading three-year-old fillies in the division, Travel Column's Tactical Speed won the day. She was able to get close to a moderate pace, got the jump on Clairiere turning for home, and she looked very good in winning their rubber match. I wouldn't count Clairiere out just yet. Maybe a mile and an eighth will help her turn the tables in the Oaks.
Oh, absolutely. If you like, I said this last week and I'll say it again now. If you like either one of these fillies, I wouldn't get off either at this point. Take nothing away from Clairiere in defeat. Both are bred for distance. Clairiere being by classic sire Curlin, and Travel Column you'll take a peek at here, strongly resembling her sire Frosted, himself a son of Tappet. Tappet, the sire of 3 Belmont Stakes winners and a Kentucky Oaks winner, so certainly plenty of stamina there. Both will be running out of their own stalls at Churchill, where they both ran well in the Goldenrod last fall. Both are each as they move on to their fourth matchup in the Philly Classic. Both are prime contenders.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And again, it's all about tactical speed for Travel Column. She can place herself within the context of the race. She can go to the front if the pace is slow. She can rate if the pace is fast. Clairiere, on the other hoof, needs a little bit of pace. She doesn't have a lot of early speed, but as you mentioned, what a wonderful pedigree. And the mile and an eighth could work to her advantage down the road. And there were really no surprises in that race. Super Sensational, I think, gave it her best shot. She added points. You see her on the top list, but she was no match for the top two.
Absolutely. And moving on, 2 points races this upcoming Saturday toward the Oaks. The Bourbonnette on synthetic turfway could attract a fringe player or two, but what we're really going to focus on, the Gulfstream Oaks, the field to be drawn tomorrow for that, and we're expecting to see the unbeaten Malathaat, Grade 1 winner Simply Ravishing, and the consistent Crazy Beautiful. It's really going to be an interesting and I think deep field that will tell us a good bit, Dan.
Malathaat is a very exciting prospect for the Todd Pletcher barn. Not only is she undefeated, and we'll go back and take a look at her final start as a 2-year-old, the Grade 2 Demoiselle, going a mile and an eighth, where she was sort of covered up in behind the pace and comes with a very strong run to win. Not only did she show strong performance as a 2-year-old, but what a pedigree. She's by the great stallion Curlin. Her dam Dreaming of Julia won the Gulfstream Park Oaks. Now, Todd Pletcher is a little bit behind in terms of preparation with Malathaat. He missed about a month earlier this winter at Gulfstream with a little setback. Malathaat, I think, is going to give a very good performance on Saturday, and she has to spring herself into contention for the Oaks.
Absolutely. I think she would need to run, perhaps 1-2 here, not only to have the points, but for her connections to want to move ahead. You mentioned her wonderful dam Dreaming of Julia, won the 2013 Gulfstream Oaks by 21 3/4 lengths. Malathaat would be hard pressed to match that, but I am looking forward to her debut and her season. You mentioned her wonderful pedigree. Like Clairiere, she's a daughter of Curlin out of a mare from the AP Indy sire line. Both were bred by Stone Street Farm. Malathaat, a 7-figure yearling purchased by Shadwell Stable. And, she's answered that mile and an eighth question, as you said. Really an interesting filly.
Oh, a very interesting filly. I thought that of the 2-year-old fillies that we saw last year, she might have shown the most natural talent. Now we'll see how she matures from 2 to 3, and she is playing a catch-up game in terms of fitness with the likes of Travel Column and Clairiere. I think she happens to catch a pretty decent group for her to return against at Gulfstream. We haven't been that impressed with the fillies in South Florida. Whole Bodemeister, who was recently sold and transferred to the Todd Pletcher barn, it looks like she's going to skip this race. So we'll see what Malathat does, but Simply Ravishing, very interesting off of the layoff. She did some very good things as a 2-year-old, and I think she needed the freshening.
Absolutely. She had a busy 2-year-old campaign, and I like her coming back at Gulfstream. I think that's a track that'll really suit her. And then her stablemate, Crazy Beautiful, both trained by Kenny McPeak, who's still looking for his first Kentucky Oaks win, despite training some wonderful horses in the division over the years, including obviously Swiss Skydiver last year. Crazy Beautiful has been sort of knocking at the door with nice performances in some of these races. Will be interesting to see if she can, step up at some point.
Oh, she's very, very consistent. I've been very impressed with her. The question is, can she do it against the top level competition? Maybe this is the right spot on Saturday. Catching these two big fillies off of a layoff. She has a race already this year, Crazy Beautiful. That might give her an advantage. I still have a little bit of a question mark next to her name as to what she'll do against really top competition, but I will not knock her consistency. She's very good.
Absolutely. And as we said, the post position draw tomorrow for the Gulfstream Oaks. We'll see how that field shakes out. The race itself on Saturday. We'll be back to recap it and look ahead to Grade 1 action in the division early in April next week on the Oaks Countdown.